Oh, okay. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Uh, Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 2025 Old Glory Club Christmas stream. There's going to be plenty of friends coming in and out all throughout the evening, but for the start, we've got Mr. Pete Quinones, Mr. Alberon Quinn here this evening. How are you doing, gentlemen?
Well,
Ho, ho, ho.
Yes,
doing good.
a Merry Christmas indeed. Look, everyone's got even like festive colors coming out of their avatars this time of year too. Look at that.
That
Yeah,
is a nice touch.
it is a nice touch indeed. Um, so, gentlemen, these streams always have a fun way of always being bangers. Number one, but number two, it's a good time for us to reflect on the year that was for 2025. So, I mean, first of all, this is actually just coming to my mind right now. Mr. Quinn, this is like the first time you and I have been on a stream together for a very, very long time. Mr. Quinn, this is like the first time you and I have been on a stream together for a very, very long time. But like I'm
It
seeing you
has
all the
been a
time.
while.
Yeah. It's interesting. We obviously we watch all of each other's stuff on the whole Old Glory Club news network or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it's always nice to speak to you, my friend. So
Well, that
I don't
is
know.
a trait of holiday functions. You are often forced into close quarters with people maybe you would prefer not to.
Especially with your reprimanding me of my taste and not enjoying eggnog before we came on stream here.
Disgusting. Eggnog is the white man's drink. Counter signaling eggnog will not be tolerated.
Well, I will be sticking to my bourbon and ice tonight. So, well, gentlemen, why don't we get started here? Just talking about how was 2025? I mean, obviously for us at the OGC, it was pretty amazing. We had a very good year. I'll say the very least. Our national conference was amazing. Our chapters are putting on miniature conferences of their own all throughout the country. We've got great chapter growth, not just a number of chapters that have come online, but the actual membership of those chapters has increased greatly. So, I mean, for us here at the OGC, it's been a hell of a year. I'll say that.
Increased greatly in quantity, yes, but even more so increased greatly in quality. We have welcomed some truly excellent gentlemen to our ranks this year, and there's much to thank God for in that respect.
And most of our hate has come from all the right people.
Oh,
Yeah, very
all the
good
right
point.
people.
Very good point. Yeah,
The
that's
best
something.
haters.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
most
That's
elite haters.
certainly something we can hang our hat on for that for sure. And of course, 2026 is going to be the more the better for us. We're not stopping here anytime soon.
You know what I hope though.
Hmm.
You can look back on 2025 politically and be like, oh, so much more could have been done. What a letdown. Personally, I mean, with the exception of one little health issue, I had a great year, man. I had a great year. I got nothing. Sure, I can complain about politics, but as far as my personal life is doing great. Why would I
Not
complain?
just personal, your output this year has been prodigious, as always in quantity, but in quality as well. You've done a banger year this year, Pate.
Oh,
Very
thank
true.
you. Yes, this is the year of Alexander Solzhenitsyn and Dr. Matthew Raphael Johnson for sure.
You guys can write like a series of books just with if someone's like to take like AI and do like an audio transcription of your 95-part podcast or whatever the hell it's going to be when it's all said and done. Yeah,
Oh,
it's a multiple
200
dude,
episodes together.
Yeah.
we just recorded episode 97, and we have 100 and I think 50 pages to go.
My goodness.
Mandrill,
So,
happy
yeah.
Yule.
Yes, glad Yuletide to all. Happy season's greetings to everybody in the audience. Wonderful, great, excellent to be back, of course, as usual.
Do you
Awesome.
do you have like a I don't know, is there how do simians get their Christmas gifts? They like come down the banana tree or something, no chimneys.
I don't know, actually. I'd have to look it up. Yeah, it must be something to do with that, though. Yeah, you have like the coconut, Santa delivers coconuts or something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, he delivers all around the world, everywhere at the speed of light practically. So
He
can never put
does.
old Kris Kringle down.
He does. I mean, all of the little ape children must get something. So.
Oh dear.
Well, unless they've been naughty, which is 80% of them.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Just look at the crime statistics, and we'll see. How many of them have been naughty or nice. So. Anyway,
do you think Santa knows the crime statistics? I mean, he's got to. He's got to know like who's naughty and nice, and I mean, it just makes perfect sense that he would be plugged into those things.
I think Santa Claus is German because he's making a list and he's checking it twice.
I mean, a bunch of those elves have to be, sub-Saharan. So he knows. He knows.
Santa's pattern recognition is undefeated.
Absolutely. Well, gentlemen, maybe we should probably get into the theme. And then, of course, just a reminder to everyone in the chat, of course, we'll be looking at the super chats periodically. And, like many of these Christmas streams have come in years before, just going to be very free-flowing. So if anyone has any topics or anything, just send us in the super chat and we'll answer it to the best of our ability. But I hope everyone has...
If any of our regular friends are in the audience and would like to come on, you know who to DM.
Yes, of course. Indeed. And I hope everybody in the audience has a nice glass at your disposal and are enjoying the Christmas merriment season. Anyway, so gentlemen, we got Mr. Not Me, Not You is joining us now. How are you, my friend?
Doing great. Merry Christmas, guys. It's that time of year again, and what a wonderful time of year it is. I hope some of you are getting snow.
No, it's been unreasonably mild this year. I can't believe it. It's like 70 degrees out where I'm at.
Oh damn. Yeah, it's a little chilly. I do like the reverse of most birds. Like I actually go north for the winter as opposed to south for the winter. So it's a little chilly up here, but making the most of it.
Yeah, don't. I mean, is it a secret where you're at? Should I not mention the geographic formations?
No, I'm back in the Great Mitten State, of course. So
yeah, don't you guys get the lake effect up there? Do you not? No snow yet, huh?
Yeah, there has been, but it's been warm the last couple of days. So actually, quite a bit of it has melted. But then it's like frozen over overnight too. So it's there's a lot of ice everywhere, but there's like less snow each day. So
yeah, likewise in Chicago, green Christmases are the rule rather than white Christmases. It's rather rare to get a white Christmas, and unless something changes, that'll be the case this year. Although we got a bunch of snow earlier, it's all melted now.
That's too bad. I just got back from upstate New Hampshire, like way up there, 15 minutes from the border, and it was just snowing constantly. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, the weather was nice enough. I got the chance to go out and shoot some pheasants yesterday with some friends. So that was nice. Not a cloud in the sky and a nice, 33 degrees with no wind chill. So that was a very fun outing as always. If anyone wants to get into wing shooting, the best place to start is your ground dwelling birds, your grouse, your quail, your pheasants, anything like that. And I'm sure Mandrill could agree with me on that.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Okay.
Doves are okay, but they're a little quick. They're not for the novice shooter.
Yeah, they're smaller. Yeah, they're much smaller too. So
they make great jalapeno poppers if you can get one though.
That is true. I mean, pheasants do taste like shit, man. They're just not a good tasting bird.
Really?
At all. Yeah, I'm not a fan.
For such a wonderfully plumaged bird, you would expect that they would taste good.
Yeah, they are quite beautiful birds for sure. But on the tasting scale, leaves much to be desired. Well, gentlemen, how about we
prepared?
Well, previously I've just had them like roasted, like in the oven, in some way or another. That's how I've always had it. But
that's probably the issue. Like with any sort of like grouse or any of that, you really need to braise it. It's got to be cooked in some kind of liquid. That's like a coq au vin or some kind of pheasant dish. Yeah, like that.
I've
it's too dry otherwise.
Yeah, the GF wants some to put it in in like a stew or something next time. So maybe that'll be something on the horizon. Who knows? But anyway, gentlemen, why don't we actually talk about the year that was 2025? So, I mean, why don't we just like go through, from the start of it? I mean, President Trump came into office on the 20th, as everyone remembers, and was firing away with executive orders for the first 3 weeks. And that was those were the good times, man. And now, I don't know, what do we have to say on like the actual like start of the year? The first quarter, shall we say?
I mean, it's all kind of a blur now, but it was definitely a relief that we knew that, Trump was coming back in, and yeah, she's happy about it too. That we were spared the Kamala presidency, but it's definitely been a roller coaster ride since then.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very high energy time for the first couple of months, and I remember being pretty stoked. And if there was a lull thereafter in the end of the year, that happens every time. So that's, if I would say it's to be expected, but I think we actually got better than I expected. So I am thankful for what we got and eager for more.
I was, all of 2024, I was pretty much talking about the elite factions that were going to be fighting for power in the White House and take over the White House. And the one I least wanted to have influence, turned out they've gotten the most influence. So the first 3 months it was like, something could be happening here. Well, there we go.
Well, it's interesting. I just before this got finished watching Matt Gaetz's interview with Tucker. And he did make a couple
here. Yeah.
He did bring up a couple of bright spots. One, I mean, illegal crossings have basically stopped, which that's shutting the barn door after the horse has gotten in, but it's something. And he also made the point that Pam Bondi getting a stop put to nationwide injunctions was a big win, which legally it is a big win. We'd be in a much worse straits now if that hadn't happened. So there isn't nothing to be glad about this year politically.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I'll definitely say at the start of this is I despise the meme "nothing ever happens" for a multitude of reasons. Number one, because it's like, if you are a proponent of that meme, it's like, what the fuck are you doing here? Why are you watching us? Why are you getting involved or anything like that if you're talking about that? The second thing is that it's just obviously not true. Like, clearly things do happen. Sometimes really big things do happen, but in this hyper real world that we're living in these days, everything kind of gets mushed together, and it's really easy to forget some of the wins that we do have. I mean, and also just to take in context of where we are. I mean, I'm one of the younger guys here on the panel, but I'll say this: Trump is by far, this second term has been the best presidency in my entire lifetime. So that's definitely a start.
Never was such a grim statement so heartening.
Yes. I mean, I also, I'm fond of the Nick Fuentes take on the "nothing ever happens" meme, because he's like, I just want to kill the guy. I want to kill "nothing ever happens" Chud, and I kind of want to do too, because things do happen, and as much as it's funny to say that nothing ever happens and there's nothing ever going on, like, things do happen, but the pace of change is always glacial in pace. It's just it takes forever for these things to get through. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, when people say nothing ever happens, they mean that they haven't experienced a world historical moment like the ones that they've learned about, without realizing that all those world historical moments are only understandable in retrospect. No one knows when they're living through a world historic moment. You only come to understand that with the context of events that occur later.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, in fact, not only did nothing happen this year, but quite a few things happened this year. I mean, the first thing I'll say at the start, and we're like 15 minutes in the stream now at this point, so we'll be okay or something like that. But I will say, I'm calling 2025 the year of the JQ. I'll say that one, because holy shit, guys, this I mean,
You're welcome.
Yeah. In no small part to a man on this panel, dare I say. So, thank you very much, Pete, for that, of course. But
No, I mean, I had nothing to do with it. I mean, they did. They could have done what they've done historically. After October 7th, they could have went, woe is us. Everybody always attacks us. Please, and like, I mean, you could have had, there's no telling what people could have done in support for them and the kind of stuff that, all right, we finally need to deal with these Palestinians. What are we going to do? And like the international community may have no, they had to show their ass. They had to do what they do every 80 years. Just like friggin' chimp out. And when they chimp out, people are just like, oh, fuck you. You people are fucking murderous monsters. Yeah, always have been. It's like the friggin' meme.
Do you think
the
it's
friggin' astronaut meme?
It really is so crazy how that 80-year give or take, a couple of years, number is just such a perfect like timeline for them. Do you think it's just something about like, after 3 generations, either bio-Leninism or whatever you want to attribute it to, competency or what have you, they just like refuse to learn from the guys that came before? It's like, hey, we got to be like kind of stealthy. We kind of like can't just go full hog on this one. This is just like a cycle that's just never going to end here. They just can't help themselves.
When Israel Shahak talked about in his book Jewish History, Jewish Religion, that when you have a closed society, you can't allow self-criticism. You can't allow criticism, because as soon as criticism is allowed, people can say, oh, you did this wrong, you did that wrong. No, they have to appear to be perfect. And it just gets to a point where until someone steps in and says, no, fuck you, that they, unfortunately, it seems like every 80 years something, bad happens. And to them.
Every time this one.
And they just don't learn from it. They don't, because they're not allowed to be self-critical. Sure, their stand-up comedians can be self-critical. Like, I mean, I think, wasn't Dave Rubin supposed to be some kind of comedian that he sells himself as a comedian? And you can make little jokes here. Oh, isn't it crazy how neurotic we are? But as soon as like it becomes apparent to tons of people how neurotic they are, like then people go, oh, you guys are kind of neurotic. Hey, you're not allowed. We're the only ones that are allowed to say that. They can't allow a conversation to be had. The conversation I want to have is like, okay, I mean, the behavior that we see, does it have something to do with, like when people say, oh, Zionism, it's Zionists. It's not Jews, it's Zionists. And I'm like, well, Zionism didn't appear out of the air. It came from somewhere. And, it came from a distinct Jewish identity and a Jewish belief. Someone like Benjamin Netanyahu, and Shahak talks about this in his book. I mean, does not believe in God at all. I mean, stone cold atheist. But he's still going to take the religious text and use them as a friggin' real estate guide. This was promised to us. So it's, I mean, it just, they can't help themselves. Once they get a little bit of power, and a lot of power and a lot of influence in the case of the 20th century, Ron Unz makes the argument that per capita, they're the greatest mass murderers of the 20th century. When you go from country to country, I mean, the question has to ask, why is this? And I think that's what the JQ is now. The JQ has evolved over the years. It's about assimilation, this, that. Now it's like, well, why can't you stop killing people? I mean, why can't you stop killing innocent people?
I mean, that's definitely huge for sure. I mean, I think it kind of also reached the stratosphere, critical mass this year, and we've all seen it in multiple ways. So a couple people were pointing this out in the chat earlier where, okay, you go on like any governor's website and everyone has been tweeting out, pictures of them at like the Hanukkah banquets or whatever, lighting menorahs or what have you. And just the entire comment section is just full of, oh, what are you doing? Why is this? This is ridiculous. Everyone's just like JQ posting all the time everywhere now. It's gone so mainstream that you have like your podcast bro kind of sphere. Those like comedians or like clinger-ons of Joe Rogan and stuff are just JQ posting all the time on their shows, basically. Well, and one final comment I'll make about this as well. I much to my eternal woe during the weeks after Charlie Kirk's murder, but I remember telling the story on stream shortly afterwards, where I went to a wedding, was hanging out with a bunch of like Con Inc. kind of normie blue collar kind of guys, and all of them were just talking about how Israel killed Charlie Kirk. Israel killed Charlie Kirk. And it's like, okay, I have severe problems with that narrative and why the right has been taken over by a lot of this like conspiratard nonsense and, really bundled that tragic event. But I mean, when it kind of gets to the point where like everyone just says Epstein didn't kill himself, and everyone's just saying, oh, it's the Jews, I mean, there's something to that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I forgot what I was going to say. But no, I did forget what I was going to say. I'll come back to it. But no, I mean, I mean the that article, that Compact Mag article today. Like, I haven't read it all yet. I actually want to like do it on my Substack and read it and comments on it from what I've read. But it basically all of their arguments, and there's a documentary from 2006 called Protocols of Zion, and it's this Jewish guy who finds out about the protocols of the elders of Zion and everything, and then he finds out that like a bunch of these like white advocacy groups sell it and everything, and he goes around talking about it, and his argument is the same argument that Compact makes, is there can't be like a international Jewry can't exist because not every Jew is involved.
Okay, yeah, sure. All right.
I mean, and that's what this guy.
Great argument.
That's what this guy kept saying. He would go there and he'd go, well, I mean, I don't have any power. Although he was getting politicians on the phone the whole time, which was fucking just. They can't. They're vampires. They can't see themselves in the mirror. But it's like, okay, well, no one said it's all. I mean, every one of us knows a Jewish person that is just like, look, man, I just want to really be fucking left alone. Can you go away?
Yeah, I mean, they're able to conflate. I mean, this is why the low IQ anti-Semitism is so poisonous, because it allows for that kind of Talmudic wordplay, and it's just they're leveraging it the way that they always have. But it is nice to see that it's not really working anymore, if only because there are just way too many low IQ anti-Semites now.
Yeah, that they're flooding the zone, but not in the way that they think.
Well, I think there's two things for this. Number one, when you have that just displays to us that we have a position of responsibility when it comes to this topic, among many, many other topics. You have to have a commitment to fact, and you have to have a commitment to true history and all of this other stuff, right? So that's number one. If anyone wants to claim the leadership position, you have to adopt those, because you can't, like the low IQ anti-Semitism thing is just, it's an emotional position. It's almost a gut position, but it's also like the Zoomers on TikTok position, right? Watching TikTok videos of like AI generated Hitler speeches or whatever. That's, it's not enough. The second thing is, like, these arguments always seem to come down to the distinctions between the vanguards of different groups, right? It's never, when two groups come into conflict, whether that's socially, politically, militarily, whatever, like it's always, at least this is my belief that I'm starting to come to. The real damage and the real conflict comes when the vanguards come into contact, basically. And basically the negotiation period comes when, you know, you essentially come into some sort of conflict, right? Because that's when things get determined. One side doesn't want to give in, neither does the other, and then who wins is basically the determinant of who gets to write the history books. Essentially, that's just a normal historical process. Most people would probably have no problem with that. But I think that, like, what it sounds like you're describing is that their vanguard is behaving in this unique way. So I don't know if you have anything else to add to that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's how groups usually are judged, right? I mean, America is judged by our government, by our quote unquote elites. I mean, when you hear a protest in Iran, death to America, or anything like that, they're not talking about us. And people can believe that because, 9/11 bullshit and everything, but they're not talking about us. But yeah, I mean, it always comes down to the thought of the vanguard, and right now I mean, I think the problem with them is there is more than one vanguard. Yeah, you have the war Jews and that work with the banking Jews, and then you have the degeneracy Jews, and I mean, basically there are a bunch of groups. It's like Tim Kelly says. He goes, you have, it's the kosher sandwich. You have the left-wing Jews and you have the right-wing Jews. And no matter what the right-wing Jews do, the left-wing Jews can benefit from it. If it's war, the left-wing Jews can benefit by flooding, refugees from the war into white countries. And if it's a left-wing, Jews, the right-wing Jews will figure out some way. The right-wing banking Jews will be able to benefit from from Hollywood and porn and things like that. So, I mean, I think that's the one difference is that there is a couple different vanguards there, and their power, even if they're not working together, they always seem to have some kind of synthesis. If that makes sense.
Certainly.
Like
the schizophrenia of where those groups, though, it doesn't matter what faction they seem to be. Like they always seem to come to their collective interest, don't they? This is where you start, I mean, talking about like how collectives tend to operate and how there's like a broader intelligence that transcends individuals and comes out when groups begin to interact. And it doesn't matter what faction they're in. All of these factions always end up acting and coordinating somehow to their own benefit.
Yeah. I mean, and it's impressive how they can coordinate, and how they always seem to be able to succeed in their own interests. The problem is that they're, the group that started this country, that founded this country, they, for whatever reason, and especially after the New Deal regime and the social engineering regime, it's hard to get people to advocate in white interests, even if it wasn't illegal to do, criminal to do. It's just, we're busy, we're working, we don't want to mess with it. We don't, it's like, I'm working over here. Maybe I can send you some money, but real, and it comes down to right wingers too. How good compared to left wingers, how good are right wingers at organizing? It's just, it doesn't even come close.
No, we're not even in the game. We're trying to get into the game, and that's one of the reasons we started the Old Glory Club. But the organizational game of the left is light years ahead of anything on the right.
Absolutely. Definitely something that we really need to focus our efforts towards in the next coming years before 2028. But speaking of organizing, we are joined by one of our chapter presidents. We got Zenrath with us right now. How are you, my friend?
Good Old Glory Club evening. Nice to see you gentlemen again.
Yeah, a good Old Glory Club evening to you too, sir. Thank you for coming on. So, gents, we've talked about how this year, 2025, Jay posting just absolutely went through the stratosphere. I will say this as well as we kind of played that clip, that funny meme earlier tonight about the town moods and tunnels. But reminder to everyone, the 2-year anniversary of that is coming up in just a couple of weeks here. And I got a feeling that if that thing gets more like circulation and play on social media, this time around, I think it's going to go a lot further than it did the first time, because the first time was just after October 7th. Israel hadn't completely burned all of its credibility on the world stage quite yet. So I feel like that meme should get another resurgence, and I think it's going to hit very, very differently this time. But anyway, I would say the other thing that was really important that happened this year in 2025 on the cultural front was also what we can call, for lack of a better word, end fatigue, as many other people have coined it. We had a series of, let's just call it racially motivated killings in the United States this year. The start of it was obviously with the Austin Metcalf incident down in Texas. We also had the tragic killing of Irina Zarutska this year, in addition to various other attacks on, whatever it be, subway trains, of people being set on fire, obviously your normal, assaults and beatings. But then also we had the two incidents of, first of all, the Shiloh Hendricks, and then that other Cinnabon case as well. It definitely feels like the tide is shifting on that front as well, that, we can't really just ignore these racial realities anymore in the United States. Things are definitely breaking through to the mainstream at a breakneck speed, I would say.
Yeah, it's interesting. In addition to the racial angle, we're seeing anarcho-tyranny being put to the test as a theory of governance, as people become more and more fed up, not just with racially motivated killings, but just, vagrants wandering the streets, racking up 30, 50, 75 arrests and getting back out onto the street to harass people. And a day doesn't go by when we don't see a new story like this, and people are getting fed up with it. And I wonder how durable the anarcho-tyrannic regime will prove to be in the coming years.
Well, I mean, it's not like they're doing themselves any favors. You have folks constantly looking at the media and then looking at reality and seeing a disconnection between them. That's not like everybody is, has a 70 IQ or is currently working on their physics dissertation, as we've seen in your usual world store videos these days. You're going to reach that breaking point eventually where people decide that, one, the information they're being told is wrong, and two, that something has to be done on an individual or as a group level with people you can trust. That sounds a little familiar.
I'm on Twitter right now, and Ash Farms is posting a video. Apparently, there was a high school football game at Cowboys Stadium today in Texas, and wouldn't you know it, a brawl broke out afterwards. Do you want to guess?
I don't even need to guess.
You don't need to tell us, Pete. They were youths. We get it.
These are all scholars.
Yeah, every one of them is going to Harvard next year. All right.
Like I said, they're working on their dissertation right now.
Yeah.
Every one of them has a jogging hobby.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Each one of them has a passion for biking. Yes. Anyway, so yeah, that definitely broke in really hardcore to the mainstream this year. I would say once again. I mean, the other thing I would say, and this was just shown to us perfectly just yesterday with JD Vance's speech at what was it like? What are they calling this? TP USA Fest or America Fest or what have you? Where the Vice President of the United States is on stage saying it's okay to be white. It's like you don't have to apologize for being white anymore. I mean, that is amazing at the very least.
Really? I was reliably informed that the hero of the show was Ben Shapiro.
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, first of all, I said this last night on one of Mr. D spaces. I was looking at the lineup for that thing. It was like number one, 60 or 70 speakers. Like, holy shit, man. It's just so schizophrenic. I guess they just take everybody to talk at these like conservative Inc. Events or what have you. I mean, like at our events, we're actively trying to limit the amount of speeches and whittle it down further and further, so people actually talk to each other and get organized. But there, they just can't they can't seem to fill up enough slots for people to speak.
Well, because it's a show. It's not a conference. It's not any kind of organizational effort. It's a show. It's entertainment, and they fill the slots and they fill the seats and they make the money and they get the message out, but nothing substantive is accomplished.
And it's
just straight up normie brain rot.
And it's pretty easy to tell now that TPUSA has been bought by the tribe. They set up a replica of the tent Charlie got shot at, and you could take selfies in it. And they were selling merch there.
Wait, they set up a what?
A replica of the tent that was covering that Charlie was in, the stage he was on when he got shot. There was a replica of it there, and you could take selfies there, and they were selling merch in it.
What the fuck?
I can imagine bizarre.
It's bizarre, but I can imagine something that I know
it's one of the most Jewish things you'll ever hear.
Yeah, it's our enemies setting that up so people could go like pretend to be like bleeding out and laughing about it. Like, what the fuck?
I'm sorry, I didn't realize I could find a way to get even angrier in 2025. Thank you, gentlemen.
You're welcome, Zenrath.
We live in truly astounding times. I mean, I love it when Thomas is talking about how I'm having a good time and I wouldn't want it any other way. And when I hear things like this, my first reaction is to get angry, and then I just chuckle. I'm like, this is way more interesting than it would be if we grew up in the boomer generation.
At least that that old axiom of may you live in interesting times. Well, we certainly do. Nobody could say that.
Well, that's supposed to be a curse, not a blessing.
Yeah. Embrace the curse, baby. Embrace it.
Well, I mean, when you kind of like, I remember like back in like the 2016, 2017 destroy SJW's phase, back when people actually thinking we could still have arguments, with these people. One of the popular lines like a lot of the leftists had was like, oh, well, there's just so much money in right-wing politics. And it's like, well, in one way, obviously they're wrong about that. They're looking like, people like us, or actual like America First as a movement, or Americans First, or any like interest for our actual people. Yeah, that's obviously not true. But then when you look at something like this and you see where characters like Mark Levin are making over $10 million a year, these big giant events at various Con Inc. Gatherings. I mean, and there's just nothing like this on the left, or the huge, establishment like talk radio scene, or the whole podcast sphere and everything. So I guess it's easy for the left to say at that point, because they are kind of right to an extent, that, oh, there's just so much money in right-wing politics, because there actually is, just none of it is where it should be. Which is obviously done intentionally.
Charlemagne just had a great comment. He's like, I'm serious. I never even conceived that something so Jewish was even possible. It's like it violates the laws of physics.
It's so horrible. Yeah, here's Cap chiming in. They're neither created nor destroyed. That's why census numbers don't go down after the 40s.
Damn.
Oof. All right. Well, everyone's getting into the Christmas spirit. I see holly and jolly. Anyway, so here's something we could say. I'm very brief as well for 2025. I would say is that on a bit of the bad part is that there's just no more denying it anymore that the economy is in rough shape. Now, anyone who is under the age of 45 obviously knows this, and there's just a huge war right now between the donor class of the Republican Party and the actual base, as it relates to what the state of the economy is actually like, and what we could do, or what should we do to either address it, or even just ignore it, pretend it doesn't exist, counter signal, what we could do that might actually help our base. So, I mean, yeah, 2025 is definitely been a bad year economically for people, and no doubt it's only going to get worse in the coming years. And everyone's feeling it on the panel, which is why nobody is chiming up like, yeah, fuck. I just
Yeah,
my wallet just became lighter as I was hearing Red Hawk speak. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much else to say about it. Like, the only thing is, whoever's whispering in Trump's ear, telling him that the economy is good, or telling him that he's better off lying about it, is really sinking his approval. But we've all known for a while now that the people he surrounded himself with are the same people that we voted him in to get rid of. So whatever. But one good thing about 2025 that I think is it's really separated who our friends are from our enemies. A lot of people really came out and decided where it was that they were going to land on this, and it's been a great sorting year. The sorting hat is really going around.
Oh yeah, that's certainly true. I mean, I think the other thing we would say about the year 2025 is that there really is just no denying it and hiding it anymore that we're playing for keeps at this point. I mean, all have already known this going into September 10th this year, but then that fateful day when Charlie Kirk was assassinated, that just, you can't deny it anymore. We're playing for keeps. We're playing for all of the marbles. And this is what ignited this, what has been happening in the last 3 months in the conservative Inc. sphere, is this conservative civil war that they're calling it, which, was bound to happen eventually. There was the two factions within the movement were going to, stick around, sing Kumbaya and everything. This was all going to come a head eventually. It just happened to be right when we could have used that moment to actually do something to punish our enemies instead of bitching about group chat leaks. But whatever, the moment passed. We did nothing. A young girl was murdered on a college campus, probably directly as a result of all that. But we can talk about that later in a moment. But at this point, it's just obvious. The left wants you dead.
Hey. At least the OGC got all that Peter Thiel Palantir money this year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, exactly. The economy's bad, but our wallets are full. We're going to be buying in a state in an undisclosed location, to have our Peter Thiel orgies at.
Yeah, Peter Thiel is really big on giving money to plan trusters and Trump betrayers, and what else are we accused of? Just all sides of any argument at any time.
Oh no, we're like radical anti-Semites and Zionists, and we're plan trusters and black pillars.
And
yeah, it's really interesting.
I mean, everybody is stupid besides us.
we exist in a superposition. We are impossible for anybody to focus on. It's really bizarre.
Schrodinger's fraternity.
Well, for those of us not
we are
really
legion, we are
recipiating
everywhere.
any of those teal bucks, I'd definitely say one of the things I've seen that's been going around the chats, because I refuse the black pill on the economy, is that you have some folks that you may have a relationship with, some folks that are older in your life. Maybe you're part of another group of social friends, or maybe you're part of another fraternity or something. Some of those folks are getting very old, and they have a big skill set that they never had anybody to pass it down to. That may be a good opportunity for you to go and get to know those people. Maybe that's something you want to do. Maybe you become someone beneficial enough to them that they decide to hand over those skills and maybe even some assets to you to run your own business. There are opportunities. It's just a matter of figuring out where they are. And at least while we're in December, jolly maxing about it as best you can.
I mean, coming up with the initial capital for these kinds of things is always the hardest hurdle, isn't it? Like, I don't know how many of our guys have like the ability to buy, even a relatively small business for like coming up with, somewhere between 15 and 30K in dollary dues, because who's got that kind of money flowing around at the moment? And it seems that with what the banks are saying, not a whole lot of people do have that kind of money flowing around, which so you have to either have to find a way to finance it, or what you could also do, and maybe this is what we should be thinking about, is we should be thinking about collectively pooling our resources to get our guys in business. Maybe this is what a fraternity is supposed to be for, and I've never heard somebody talk about it honestly before. So maybe we just need to have a couple guys put $5K here, $10K here. You give them double their investment within 5 years or whatever, within 2 years, whatever you want, and then you get him over the hurdle of an initial down payment and set people up. Maybe we should do that. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that having friends that you can actually trust to take care of you is good for. $20 isn't a lot out of your personal wallet, but you have enough friends, all of a sudden that becomes a business loan. That becomes buying your first, let's say, very even low tier vending machine for a location. That might be a CNC equipment. That could be realistically anything if you budget it out correctly.
Well, what else do we have to say about 2025, guys? What were else some things that really stood out to you for good or for worse?
Well, there have been a lot of our friends having children in 2025, either being born or being conceived, and that's amazingly white pilling. I know that on Central there were 5 children this year, so it's been a good year for our numbers.
OGC TFR is skyrocketing.
That
In
is
fact,
true.
we have one prospective chapter with at least one member who has a double-digit number of children, and several others with nearly double-digit numbers of children. So we multiply.
We are Legion.
It seems that being absolute chads does in fact make babies. Don't know how this happens.
Facts, absolute facts. Yes. Yes, that's certainly a good thing on that front, of course. I don't know. What else we got, gentlemen? For better or for worse? Anything that really stood out to you this year? Any major news stories? Anything like that?
We got someone in the waiting room.
Oh, do we? They'll be here shortly. We'll get them onboarded. Oh, damn. Okay. Yeah. We'll get him on here shortly. I'm sure he has quite a bit to say because it's a big year for him. But we'll continue on for the moment. I will say personally for myself, I got to do a lot of hunting this year, which is always great. I was very, very excited to get out on like 3 or 4 occasions and shot a lot of game this year. So 2025 has been a big year for me on that front personally. So that's definitely been a highlight of my year.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about things that happened this year, there's been a lot of focus on the foreign obviously the foreign invasion everywhere, but specifically how the Chinese and the Indians are just taking over large swathes of various states. I mean, the head of the GOP in Texas is a Jeet, right? And New Hampshire and Maine are being taken over by the Chinese, and it's one of these things where it sucks to hear about, but the fact that it's now getting so much press, especially through people like Tucker Carlson, means that there's actually a chance that we can do something about it before they own everything.
Yeah, not only has this year been the year of N fatigue, the JQ, but it's also the IQ, and I'm not talking about Charles Murray books.
They really have had a catastrophic public relations year this year, haven't they?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a group of people, fumble the ball as badly as they have this last year. It's crazy. Especially if you're on Twitter, for those of you in the audience who aren't there.
Well, Vivek gave them a head start during Christmas last year, so
and Christmas this year.
Yeah, it's his new tradition. Yeah.
I will once again put out my request for Vivek Ramaswamy to take the next train out of the country as fast as he possibly can.
Yeah. In whatever position he can get in front of the train would be best. But no, I mean, it's one of these things like you hear about how India is basically like if Indians as a race are the personification of the scam artist, it's like they hide what they believe in every sense, and then when they think they have power over you, they gloat and they're just like mean. They're like giant overgrown children, and there's 1.2 billion of them.
Yeah,
We
it's
don't need any
crazy.
of that.
Yeah, literally bug people.
I mean, every single time I see a post from that man, the only thing I can think of is that is a perfect example of a dung beetle trying to convince a bird that it can teach it to fly because it happened to find a few feathers on the ground. Like, I don't understand where he gets this confidence from other than just pure grift from his pharmaceutical days.
Well, you see, if you import the dung beetle into San Francisco, it'll magically learn how to fly. That's just how it works, guys.
Well, I
Yes.
think I mentioned on the Thursday stream that he doubled his net worth. He like went from $1 billion to $2 billion this past year.
Yeah, I'm sure that was just because he was working really, really hard. He was putting his bare feet to the grindstone.
He needs to be deported and have that like seized and taken away from him.
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, he didn't get this. I mean, he cheated and made his money the same way like what the hell is that? Bill Ackman made his money just destroying Bill. Both of them, except Vivek is like robbing from normal people. Well, I mean, Bill Ackman's robbing from normal people too. He's friggin' shorting. He'll like, shit all over. Have a whole thing in the press about how this company is dying and everything like that, and he'll short the stock. I mean, that's the way these people make their money. I mean, they all have to go.
I think it's really just become clear to so many people over this last year about just how fake the economy truly is at this point, and particularly the stock market, man. I mean, this tech AI bubble is just inflating ever larger and larger by the second. And when this thing goes, it's not going to be pretty. But quite frankly, I'm kind of all here for it because all these fucking people barely work for a living anyway. So I'm happy to see all these AI companies go bust and everything, not only because I hate the idea of it to begin with, but also, I like seeing, what would I call it? I like seeing dishonorable people lose.
Yeah, I mean, everyone does, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have it on good authority that there have been a lot of job postings for executive protection. So, in common parlance, bodyguards for the CEOs of these tech companies. Because they're afraid that people are going to try and kill them. So what you said
that's
about
another thing that happened this year. Luigi Mangione happened earlier this year.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, what you said about people not having to work for a living, it's like, well, now maybe they have to fight for their living. Which, you know what? Since the rest of us have to do that too, well, welcome to the real world, jackass.
The thing is like I remember talking about this Luigi thing at a recent OGC Christmas party with some people, and it's like, I'm not against the concept of billionaires as such, like a like a classic like Marxist or commie or something, or somebody you'd see on like the Democrat platform at this point, right? But there is something to be said for the fact that the billionaires and the elites that we have today are nothing like the Carnegie, Rockefeller, Morgans, the titans of industry and the capitals of industry that we saw, in the late 1800s and early 1900s. I mean, these people like built museums. The Carnegie Museum was like the foundation of American paleontology in Pittsburgh. You guys can go see the first Tyrannosaurus Rex that's ever found is in that museum. These guys actually gave back to their communities and wanted to see America thrive. They weren't just these amorphous, like globalist pigs who were just like floating around from country to country. It's really hard for me to get on the side of saying, you know what? Yeah, I do want to protect the wealth of somebody like, Jeff Bezos or something, or, it's like, fuck these guys. They're all faggots. All of them are.
Yeah, there's no noblesse oblige. You can't, like, in order for the body politic or the people to look at their quote unquote elite and say, yeah, we think that you deserve your position and we won't try to take it from you, and we won't celebrate when you're assassinated or have it taken from you by force. The people have to feel like those elite at least care about them even a little bit. And it's never been more obvious that our elite are completely illegitimate. This is actually borrowed from some Jewish academic, but we live in a kakistocracy, which is the inversion of an aristocracy. It's rule by the lowest, which is what we've had for 100 years now.
I mean, all I'm going to say at the end of this, man, is that there's going to be more attacks like this. I mean, as like the anarcho tyranny keeps ramping up that we've discussed, earlier in the stream. I mean, the attacks on like these CEOs and all these other characters is going to increase at the same rate that attacks on right wingers and everyday subway goers and little old ladies walking down the street. I don't know if people saw this yesterday, but some 75-year-old woman just lost an eye because a homeless guy hit her in the face with a board that had a nail on it in downtown Seattle. So
that was awful.
Yeah, horrible. So, and it's only going to continue to ramp up.
Here's your occasional reminder: you should, in fact, maintain your personal safety as best as you possibly can, gentlemen.
I remember we were going over that last week. We were making the comments about like the footage from the Bondi Beach shooting that we showed a little bit on air here. It's just the lack of situational awareness that people have. It's just crazy. It's like gunshots are literally sprawling out and people are just, taking out their phones to try and record and stuff. It's like, what the fuck, guys?
Yeah, I mean, if you're at a shooting and you pull out your phone to try and get a viral video for your Instagram reel, you deserve whatever happens to you.
I think, on that topic of streaming and stuff like that, another thing I've noticed this year, just from normie dumb and everything, is a lot more people are being a lot more cautious about what they're actually showing online and on social media. And I don't think it's just because of I'm afraid of what I'm going to say or whatever like that, or could be punished for certain views. I don't necessarily think it's that. It's just I'm noticing a lot more normie people in my life, especially people with kids, are way more cautious than they were in years past about posting pictures of family and stuff like that. It's just, I think there is a bifurcation going on of people who want to spend more time in the real, and then there's people who are still like wearing masks and getting like 27 jabs or whatever, and they're just gonna shrink into the online for forever.
Well, I mean, also the internet's become much more brown thanks to the efforts of Elon Musk and Starlink, which is a great product, but he should have restricted it by country.
Very true. I mean, it is a nice change on Twitter that we could see the countries that people's accounts post from. But I made reference to this a couple days ago on stream. But when Lee was talking about this on Timeline Earth, when he was just mentioning, I just feel tainted just being exposed to these people, like that I just share the same internet with them. It's like, yeah, I totally agree. It totally should just be a setting where, nope, we're just looking at, the United States, Anglosphere, Western, yada, yada, something like that. And then just, I could go the rest of my life with not knowing, what's going on in India. And the funny thing about that too is people in the chat won't know this if you're not on Twitter, but if you say like anything bad against like the Indian coalition, two things are going to happen to you. One, your mentions are immediately going to get flooded by a bunch of people pretending to be white or Westerners or something like that, but are obviously, foreigners and they're Indians. And it's really easy. We could go to their accounts and see that they're retweeting like One India News or whatever, or talking about cricket or something. It's like, yeah, fuck off. Nobody in the United States gives a shit about this stuff. But then the second thing you'll get is that they'll immediately accuse you of being Pakistani. Like they'll accuse you of being another bot, another fake person trying to pretend to be a white man or something. Like, oh, yeah, you're not really an American. You're just a Pakistani spreading anti-India hate. It's the most bizarre thing ever. Oh man, welcoming to the stream this evening, Mr. Oren McIntyre. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. How's it going, gentlemen?
We're doing well. We're spreading some Christmas cheer on this Monday night. Aaron, what do you have to say about 2025? What do you think has been some of the major themes this year? Anything like that? The good, the bad, the ugly?
I'm sure you guys have already discussed, the Trump administration arc, which has been notable. I do think it's really interesting, and I'm very glad as somebody who kind of predicted this would be coming to a head, not because I'm Nostradamus, because it was just as obvious as day. Anyone pay attention? Was that the what is an American question has now come to dominate the entire discussion for the most part. I mean, this was obviously a large, it's Christmas, so Vivek has to crash out and tell you that you're not an American. But he also has to go to TPOSA and make that a critical part of the discussion as well. So definitely interesting to see that break into the mainstream. There's really no denying the fact that this is now a pretty critical thing that the coalition on the right has to grapple with, which I think is a pretty important development over the course of our discussion, something that I think we all knew was coming and something that had to happen. But very interesting to see those that have tried to keep that out of the mainstream discussion suddenly have no other choice but to address the issue. And you can tell they haven't been thinking about it very much.
Indeed. If only the OGC had launched an entire series to examine exactly that question.
Very much so. Very much so. I am an avid enjoyer of said series.
Well, thank you.
Yes, everyone should be watching American Spirits on Monday, and I'm sure there'll be another series of excellent streams going into next year for 2026. But I mean, so I guess the one thing I would like to also really stress about this, we spent a little bit we've actually spent quite a bit of the stream talking about a lot of the bad things that has happened this year. But what I will say for the year of 2025 is that things are obviously going in our direction. I mean, for the first time in a long time, our faction of guys are, the center of the discourse. We've kind of been pushing every single major news story, major discussion on the right the entire year, basically. Everyone is having to address our arguments. More and more of our points are going mainstream to a degree they never were before. So while there have been a lot of bad things happen this year, the death of some very prominent figures, obviously the death of Charlie Kirk was very, very sad and absolutely tragic. And also the disappointment of the Trump administration, particularly in the last 6 months. There's a lot of things we could point at that have been problems this year, but overall, as it relates to the direction that not just our country, but many other countries in the West are heading, everyone is shifting further to the right. And that is definitely a good thing for us.
Remind me what it means when we're taking flack.
Yeah.
Well, it's certainly the case that containment is just over. Like whatever you think about the counter arguments at this point, the idea that you can just ignore, cancel, destroy, distract, those things are no longer working, and they're deploying these tactics, but it's simply no longer a real option. The disintermediation of the media environment, which has come with kind of the new media sphere, has made this virtually impossible. And you can see this because, while I really do hate that ultimately at the end of the day, the right wing has become nothing but a large number of podcasters yelling at each other, it does demonstrate to you that the power base to control the narrative is completely gone. You have this scenario where what's most interesting to the vast majority of conservatives at this point is like who's yelling at who, which is bad, but it also shows you that Fox News telling you, okay, just don't listen to Tucker Carlson, don't listen to these people. It doesn't do anything anymore. And so there's a danger, of course, in these rogue podcast personalities becoming the central theme of everything. I don't want to hear one more walk through insane land with Candace Owens, but at the same time, the fact that these limits no longer really exist means quite a bit.
And it tells us another thing. It tells us that the crown is very much in the gutter. This narrative vacuum, this inability of any side to dominate the media landscape and to dominate the information space, is a signal that there's tremendous opportunity here for those with the wit and the wherewithal to seize it.
It just illustrates, though, that you're in the conflict phase.
Yeah, absolutely. I was interestingly enough, Mr. Coyne. I was just going to say the same thing about the crown being in the gutter. What this shows us is that the censorship and containment regime just cannot work anymore on the right. It shows us that nobody really is in control. But while that is a problem because we have like the prominence of some people like Candace Owens and others who are obviously like not great, I would say at the very least. But what it does show is that the enemy side of this faction, like your Fox News, boomer conservatives, your neocons, everything, they're no longer in control of the narrative. So, I mean, having it up for grabs is better than it being in the hands of the enemy. What is going to be really important for us in 2026 and especially going forward into 2028 is that there needs to be a strong coalition that is stable. Everybody understands where everyone's coming from and where we can all rally behind a whatever candidate that may be. Maybe that is Vance. Maybe that's somebody else. We'll see in the next couple of years what that actually looks like. But the control is there. We just need to actually, I don't know what we just say, level up and make sure that we're the ones that come out on top of this thing. And yeah.
So someone would
Or-
say that chaos is a ladder.
Yeah.
or let me ask you a question. Apparently TPUSA endorsed, or was it just Erica Kirk that said we endorsed JD Vance for president in 2028? Why do you think they did that at this point? It seems to me you would, considering how pro-Israel TPUSA obviously is, and how a lot of the pro-Israel people completely question JD because he's like not all in on Israel publicly. That would be a weird stance for them to take. But it also seems like they could be playing some kind of 4D chess where it's like, well, let's further trash JD's name to the grippers and all these other right wingers who are, anti-Israel by making it look like, oh no, now he's on our side.
One of the things you want to avoid, and this isn't criticism of you, Pete, but just in general, as when doing political analysis, is to assume totally a strict like ideological adherence or high level strategy to your opponents. TPUSA is of course many people. It's not just one person anymore. At one point it was mainly Charlie Kirk, but that's not the case anymore. And that means that there are many different voices vying for being heard in that scenario. And just with my interactions with some of the TPUSA brass, I think that while their position is generally, we're not huge fans of like the, very angry hatred of Jewish people, they basically they've kind of taken on Charlie's position that he came to before sadly he was tragically killed, which was I might support at some level the existence of Israel as a country. I might even think it has some biblical significance, but it doesn't work with my American first understanding to completely sell myself out to this foreign country. If God has ordained these people in this specific secular nation and its current government to usher in the end times, I think he's got that covered. So let him handle that. And if not, well, then it makes no sense to favor them over my people. And so again, I'm not here to speak for them or to speak for all of them, but just again, with the limited amount of contact I've had, I get the feeling that it may not be as completely pro-Israel a formulation as one might imagine. Probably wouldn't be, echoing maybe some of the sentiments that you gentlemen have, but would not be perhaps your dad's boomer understanding of kind of evangelical Christianity's relationship with the nation state of Israel. That said, I think that they recognize, no matter how they feel about any of this, that JD is the future of the MAGA movement, and TPUSA is first and foremost a creature of that movement. And so, again, however you feel about Trump's position on Israel, or whatever you're projecting onto Vance, ultimately, they are much better on this than previous Republican administrations have been. I know that sounds crazy, but when you compare, actually, they're at the very least, it's break even, right? There's no real change there, and so I don't think that they're ready to jump out of the MAGA ship to counter signal Vance, because really at the end of the day, the only thing they care about is Israel. I think that they understand that a future of this political movement is going to hinge on someone who can truly carry the kind of ideological coalition forward that was initiated under Trump. And that's something that Vance can do in a unique way that pretty much no other politician does. So even if they did somehow prefer the steadfast support of like a, Cruz or a DeSantis to Israel, I think they recognize that Vance is the only one that's going to keep that faction alive inside the Republican Party. And whatever TPUSA is, it's ultimately a youth vehicle. It's a vehicle for college students who don't agree with any of the established Republican Party on the issue of Israel. So it doesn't make a lot of sense for them to completely devote themselves to that issue and that issue alone, and eschew otherwise worthy successors just to placate that audience. If Charlie Kirk was going to do that, he would have done that when Jewish donors were threatening to leave, and he explicitly didn't. We know that. That's a fact. That's not speculation. That's not Candace Owens guessing. That's information we have. So I just think that's kind of why you probably see that development.
Yeah, Auron is very correct to look at this through a prism other than Israel. If you look at TPUSA and the MAGA movement's position and the broader Republican movement, they stand in opposition to the Bush wing and various other interests. And if, as we believe has been happening, the Bush wing has been laying the groundwork to freeze Vance out, it's very much in TPUSA's interest, to the extent it considers itself part of the MAGA movement, to block that and to keep them from flooding the zone with Ted Cruz or whoever they're going to try to anoint.
Well, I mean, at least we already have the quippy "with Cruz you lose" line ready to go when they try to put him on.
I'll tell you what, that was probably the most significant interview on our side of things for this year. I would say the Ted Cruz, Tucker Carlson interview, because that really started the anti-Zionist attack line for many of Tucker Carlson and his allies for the rest of the year, and also it just started the entire GOP establishment just started going completely off the rails, insane after that interview, as well as it relates to the Israel question. So well done on that front.
I mean, a special shout out goes to Mike Huckabee for meeting with a convicted spy, a convicted traitor. Like I don't even know. Like I whenever I bring that up to someone who is kind of pro our current relationship with Israel, they're just like, I don't even know. Like there's just no answer. Like there's just nothing. There's you could try to argue other aspects of that relationship, but that obsequious performance by Huckabee was just it's a national shame, and it really that combined that with the Cruz interview really is the 1-2 punch for what are we doing here, guys? Like what are we doing at this point?
We've got another OGC president joining us tonight. This is Mr. Nevada Smith from the Order of the Aquila First. Thank you for joining us tonight, sir.
Thank you, good gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be here.
Finally, someone to carry my Eagles.
Hey, let's go. I'm ready.
Indeed. So, I mean, why don't we get into having a little bit of fun with this one, guys? We can get into some predictions that we might have going into 2026. I think everyone here on the panel is more or less, come to peace with the fact that the Republicans are just going to get absolutely destroyed in the midterms next year. So, I mean, the first things that I have to say about that, number one, is that it would be very, very prudent for people to get out ahead of this one. As it relates to, it's obvious that the George Bush faction of the Republican Party is going to do what they tried to do. Again, this time with the obvious failure of the Winsome Sears candidates and others in these special elections that happened this year. The tagline for them is going to be that it was Nick Fuentes and Tucker Carlson and the far right that cost us to lose the midterm elections this time around. Well, the obvious answer that all of us can give to that is, well, you guys didn't want us in the party in the first place, so we all left. So why are you blaming us for losing these elections? That's just an obvious counter right there.
Yeah, I mean, I love the idea of this Republican Samson option that Stormy and Burden were putting out, not just because of the funny illusion, but I mean, it makes sense, right? Like the old guard is dying. They know they're dying. They know that the youth hate them, and they, instead of trying to go out with grace and dignity and try to make alliances with the future, they seem to be hell bent on running this thing right into the ground. So I guess we'll just see them immolate.
I mean, you think they would have learned with Sears in the first place. Like, if you're going to run a campaign for your for your demographic that's least likely to vote for you, you're going to fail. So why in the world are you going to continue using the same strategy? It's not going to work. I don't understand why they seem to think it's going to work, other than they're just floating money around, because why not?
Generous of you to assume they think it's going to work.
Well, to be fair, my colleague Steve Dace has a funny name for this. He calls it the brothers be flippin' myth. He does get quite fired up about this fact that the Republicans are constantly chasing a demographic that is never going to vote for them. And I think that opinion is becoming more utterable in the Republican mainstream, that maybe it's okay to court the votes of the people who actually support you, which are largely, white people in the middle of the country. It's not some sin to ultimately recognize that those are the people that make up your voter base, and you don't need to chase down people who otherwise are in no way interested in your party simply because they have a higher melanin count, and that somehow makes them holy and more worthy of your devotion. But it is going to be an uphill climb. I mean, it is. I think they do genuinely think that there is some magical thing that unlocks when they get like 20% of the black vote or something. But I think that while that understanding is dying, you probably have at least another election cycle before, probably two, before that obsession, fades away somewhat. But I think we are in a space where it's possible that the myth of the magical minority could finally erode in some level at the conservative politics.
Yeah, to his point there, I've been following Fishback and Butch in Ohio, and yeah, so far I've liked what those guys are doing. They are explicitly advocating for white men, especially Fishback in general. I just want that for my state. I see right now I've got a Shapiro as my guy. So
No relation. Yeah, I mean, we've got a couple of like decent. I mean, we've got ASPAC. We've got. I know that one of our brothers is putting together a Buchanan-centered PAC. So the writing's on the wall. Imagine trying to run ASPAC in the '90s or in the 2000s. Like the stranglehold that the Republican Party once had on containing the right is gone, and they seem to be the only people who don't really get that.
I don't know, maybe if that's because we have a big boomer problem of constantly holding on to power rather than building up a next generation to assume that power and carry on that noblesse oblige spirit, which we don't really see these days. I can't say for certain. I do know that the longer this goes on, the less control they're going to have over the situation, because people are, in fact, going to just do things. They're going to pick stuff up, they're going to get together, and they're going to start changing the country in a way that they feel is genuinely beneficial to their own interests. I'm not sure where they plan on making that a positive idea by continuing that trend, but I do know that, at least as a guy that all of 2020, the most political he ever got was listening to Steven Crowder every now and then, I these days find myself amongst a bunch of gentlemen that at the end of the day I can trust far more than most friends I've made across my life, my military service, and even within my church in some cases. You have to find these people to go together and do good things together. And obviously that doesn't have to be political in any sort of sense. Like as the Old Glory Club, that's not something we do. But you have a lot of folks that suddenly you find a lot of interest. You find guys that have a lot of history in their local area, and they want to go and do something for the place that they live, the place that they feel the water is in their blood, the land is in their soul. And when you get a lot of guys like that together, great things do happen. It's just a matter of where are you going to apply your focus.
No, that's an important point to remember, Zenrath. Put not your trust in princes. National politics is something that is above all of us, except maybe Auron. And the impact that we as members of the Old Glory Club make is local. Tribing up with guys in your area, guys that you're finding and I'm finding, and I'm sure all our other presidents are finding, you can trust to an exceptional degree to be there for you, is the entire reason for this institution. And it is central to not just the mission of the club, but to the future of the American people.
Precisely. Thank you.
Here, here.
With
Seeing that it's
gentlemen,
Christmas.
Go
ahead.
I'm actually going to have to bow out. I have some other engagements I have to take care of. I do greatly appreciate y'all having me on tonight.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you for joining us. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas
Nice
to
dinner.
all, and may all have an even more exceptional night. Take care.
Dude.
Yeah, I was going to say, given that it's Christmas, I don't see why the men of the OGC couldn't get together. I mean, it's a little late now, but next year start doing go around caroling and forcing the celebration of Christ's Advent onto all of our neighbors.
I know there was at least one OGC Christmas party where a few carols broke out.
That is true. That is true.
Militant
sir.
carolers.
Yes, the carolers militant.
Caroling,
Yeah.
caroling will continue until morale improves.
Yes, of course. Dare I say, we sounded pretty good at that event. So,
Well, I mean, I've been painstakingly trying to put together a Christmas song playlist that actually, like, where they mention Christ and things like that, which isn't that hard with Spotify. But man, Oh Holy Night really it really hits a lot different when you're older and saved. It's some good stuff.
Oh, yeah. Silent Night's still the greatest of all time, though.
yeah, it's quite a good one. Yeah, on that same topic, I mean, It's a Wonderful Life just hits harder and harder every year I get older. So that is rapidly becoming my favorite Christmas film.
Yeah, that one
I
will
feel-
peer into your soul for every year you put on.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because my better half here just said she's never seen the movie, which means we're going to have to watch it on Christmas.
Oh man, yeah, you need to. That one's a must see for anyone that hasn't seen It's a Wonderful Life. You really need to.
And then, of course, there's Silent Night, Deadly Night, which basically points it toward the future and what people deal with.
Is that the one that we see the clip all the time of Santa doing violence to a deli shop owner?
Yeah, that's that one. But the it's the reveal at the end that is most revealing.
Well,
She has a penis. Okay.
Ace Ventura, but all over again.
Alrighty. Well, before we start getting into some of the super chats, gentlemen, do we have any more final predictions that we might see going on for 2026? Anyone want to get out their old prediction? You know, everyone in the audience is going to hold you to it over the next year and stuff, and try and hold you to it. But I don't know. I mean, what are we thinking? What's going to be the major thing that we need to be looking out for?
Susie Wild, gone. Christy Nome, gone. Pam Bondi, gone. We actually get a decent cabinet. You know
Need to
what?
get, like, Deadpool going. You know, these guys. You know, calling all bets. You know.
I think the biggest thing, obviously, coming up is going to be the affordability issue. Obviously, there's other stuff going on that many people would like to focus on, but that's going to be the real political issue going forward. Nobody has an answer to inflation. We are truly in the democratic death spiral of just print and spend and print and spend. Yeah, libertarians, shout out, congratulations, got this one right. And so there's an increasingly difficult political maneuver to be done where you attempt to head fake towards some kind of solution to this, knowing that there's literally nothing you can do because that's how democracies work. And if you stop giving people stuff, they won't vote for you. And so everyone is just in this like terminal spiral of inflation. So that's going to be the most interesting dynamic at some level politically going forward. Is obviously you can't stop the inflation spiral. Like you literally just politically can't do it unless you solve the democracy problem. And so going forward, like the only question is how good are you about lying about why we're here? That really is the only option. So exciting to be sure.
Well, I mean, we can hope that China or the Eurozone's economy collapses before ours does, so that we can. I mean, that would be a boon to the people in power. They can just blame them and say, "Oh, this wouldn't have happened if the Euros hadn't,"
Yeah, they're holding all our debt, so what could we do, right? Like,
yeah. A nice scapegoat,
right?
All our debt that they somehow have.
Curious to be sure. Yeah.
We have a libertarian in the chat who has assured us that he has all of the solutions, but people just don't want to hear them.
He tried.
It just hits the get rid of the state button, then we're fine. Like, figured it out. Like, and I've got that button just sitting on my desk, and what an idiot! I didn't even bother to reach over. I can just here. I got it, guys. Yep, done.
No, Oren, if you press that button, the state goes away, and then immediately an authoritarian state comes back. It's it's the monkey
slams button hard. And I mean, what?
I don't know, but the action of slamming, it could actually be perceived as a violation against the NAP. So. Yeah. You just have to gently.
Then I guess there's no option. Then I don't want to violate the NAP, so I can't get rid of the state.
Did you obtain the button's consent?
Right.
Did somebody sell you the button through non-coercive means?
see, all we have to do to solve the debt issue is just get everybody to sign on to the NAP. Once we do that, everything's going to be solved. Well,
I haven't tried to lower the age of consent with the button. So
yeah, the button was manufactured in 2024. Does it meet the libertarians' age of consent?
A true moral dilemma.
I mean, I was
the trolley problem of libertarianism. Really,
they all should really be Epstein fans because he was trying to answer that question.
Yeah, he's trying to open the Overton window a little bit more towards libertarianism.
And Michel Foucault, to be fair.
Yeah, Epstein walked so Chase Oliver can run. Yeah.
You may not like it, but this is what peak praxis looks like.
Yeah, let them know that ultimately Foucault really was the true libertarian. Like,
no, I mean, I was griping with Pete about it earlier today, but this brings up a nice the libertarian rejection of human nature. But I think that one thing that we're starting to see coming back into the Overton window is the kind of rejection of liberal egalitarianism as a moral good, and this embrace that maybe humans have a nature and that it's different between different human groups, and that's very encouraging.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things to look forward to going into the new year. No doubt that there will still be some bad things that are going to happen next year. No doubt there'll be some things that we will be very upset about that we will, of course, be covering on this show. But again, don't let anyone be fooled in the chat that things are indeed happening and things are indeed moving in our direction, albeit not perfectly, maybe not as fast as we would like, but the tides are definitely shifting. I think we can all sense that. I mean, I think it's really interesting if people haven't been listening to Millennial and they don't have it in their yearly schedule. You definitely should adopt it at this point. But it's very interesting to see the perspective from guys who've been in this thing for a decade plus, especially somebody like Woes, who is now in his 11th year of Millennial. And, no matter who he has on, even if he has like Devin Stack, like Blackpilled on.
Hold on, I'm sorry. 11 years?
Yes, it's the 11th Millennial. Yes.
I just literally turned into the Giga Chad old man meme. Like, I grew at least 7 inches of completely pure white beard the minute you said that. Thanks. Jeez.
So no matter who Woes has on, even if it's like Devin Stack, Blackpilled, who, of course he's Devin Stack, so he's going to be like, it's also over, right? But just to hear Woes say every time that, guys, it's 2025. It's just been the most amazing year ever. Just look, the vice president of the United States gave a speech yesterday saying it's okay to be white. It's like, wow, how amazing is this? When you put it in that perspective of, or even like somebody like Jared Taylor, who's been in this scene even longer than that, it's very interesting to see. The things are definitely shifting in our direction.
It's one of those scenarios where, at some level, you obviously know that things are not where they need to be, but you have to appreciate how far you've come, right? Like, the only reason it feels like things have not sufficiently advanced is because you realize how late the hour is. But when you look time-wise, like just, compressing the timeline into what has happened in the last year or two, the border is entirely closed. The administration is aggressively against anti-white discrimination. Again, maybe not doing everything you want to do, but when you contextualize that, it truly is amazing. So yeah, I mean, I get it. Everything you want isn't happening. It's okay to continue to push for that, but just, do have that level of perspective. Don't just sit around and blackpill all the time. It's just bad for your soul.
Here. Absolutely. Everyone always remember the black pill is taken via suppository. So do not take the black pill. All righty. Why don't we move on to some of these super chats that have been piling up here? Gentlemen, there have been quite a few tonight. All righty. As ever, Solid Snake 1964 sneaks behind enemy lines to get the first super chat in. And he says, Merry Christmas to all. My aunt is making her Christmas cookies again this year. If any of you lads somehow come through Kansas, I'll give you some. They're good. The old prime rib will be magnificent as well. Yeah, salute. You, sir, are a real American. Thank you. I'm always a fan of like a tenderloin or something like that on Christmas. Very, very good, of course. Christopher Burke sends us $5. Merry Christmas, Patriots, and a salute. You, sir, are a real American.
Real Americans.
Damn right.
I mean, I'm a little late, but the standing rib roast is the ultimate in Christmas food. A good, like a decent one will run you like $400 these days. But if you got the money and the time to learn how to cook it right, you'll never go to anything else.
Yeah, my family's never really been big on like the Christmas ham thing. We've always been like a tenderloin steaks kind of deal. I mean, not that I have anything against ham, but I don't know.
Well, the standing rib roast is also known as prime rib. So it's beef, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, tenderloin has always been my family Christmas food. We always do a loin.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Very, very good.
Tacos and tequila.
Deported.
Not beating the allegations.
Buckthorn Bear sends us $20 and says, Merry Christmas. $2 of this is for consistent quality content necessary for saving our civilization. 18 is for the Santa hats in the thumbnail. Well, there we go. Our thumbnail guy does some excellent work. And everyone should be happy that Nancy Mace did not make an appearance on the thumbnail this year or for this stream.
I was pushing for it.
Yeah. Crypto Feral for $25 sends us Merry Christmas, OGC, Peoples, and the chat. Well, Merry Christmas to all. Dune Doomer, nice name for $3, says Merry Chris Birdmas to all. Yeah, everybody should be listening to the 12 Days of Birdmas on Timeline Earth. My fellow avian friend. I actually made an appearance over there on one of the early days of Birdmas, so people should go and tune into that.
Is Nancy Mace like the congressional turnstile? Does everyone get a turn?
Oh, I mean, that woman is way too old to be a tease, man. I'll tell you that much. She's going to drag everybody else into Congress to talk about her sex tape that she had. She doesn't even show the goods.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine Nancy Mace in another life. Like if we lived in a sane and just country, she would be the weird mom who was hitting on all the teenage boys in the suburb that she lives in. But to have her in Congress, it's just
reeking of boxed wine.
Yeah, she definitely is like the personification of Stifler's mom. Like if that reference is now not just boomer. Yeah.
Dangerously on the edge there, Aaron.
I'll tell you this much. I mean, again, we just had another year of 2025 just proving to us once again that there should not be a single female politician whatsoever. Even some people were trying to fool us with, based Marjorie Taylor Greene, but then look what you got at the end with that, where she just reverted to feminist talking points 101 when people were accusing her of saying, you should probably serve out the rest of your term and not give Democrats a seat. She's like, what, do you just want me to go back in the kitchen? This is misogyny. It was like, oh my God, I fucking hate you. Jeez.
Yeah, I know that there's some. We have to be kind of sensitive about this topic, but no women in politics or any position of power ever, 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 ever.
Yeah, very sensitive. Yes, 100% agree. Chat face. Excuse me, King. You dropped this. Yeah, nice work. Moving on to Omens for $10. A few years ago, this time of year, I went down a rabbit hole due to a local shitlib and the Santa Inc. comment section. This year, I'm working on getting my local PGC chapter. Winter makes boys men. Well, there you go. Yes, nice work. Let's see. Moving on to American Testudo. What a name! What an absolute name for a guy in the chat. Nice. I dig that one. For $5 says 2025 was a banger year indeed. My wife and I welcomed our first son. Well, good for you. Congratulations. And was fortunate enough to be a founding member of an OGC chapter. Merry Christmas. Salute. Well, there you go. Nice. Good to hear. Omens for $5 again says the high elves hate Talos, the snow elves hate Ysgramor, the dark elves hate Ulfric, and I'm a radical for saying Skyrim belongs to the Nords. Yes, if anyone sided with the Empire in that game, you sir are gay.
Yes, the Skyrim does belong to the Nords, and I when I was a kid, when that game came out, I was still kind of lefty, so
Spoke to you. Do you know what's so amazing? We covered this on Mr. D's Twitter space last night, or a couple nights ago. So does anyone want to take a guess how many times Skyrim has been released in either remastered or released on a new console since its launch?
I'm going to say 10.
11.
The answer is 9, which is more times than the entire Elder Scrolls series. So there's been a Skyrim release almost twice as much as.
I mean, why would they ever release the Elder Scrolls 6? I mean, dude, does anyone really want the Elder Scrolls 6 now?
It's gonna be shit. I mean, it's like the same thing where I just can't be hyped basically for any new game that comes out. It's like, oh, cool, CD Projekt Red. Here's The Witcher 4 coming out in a couple of years, and it's like I can't be excited about this because I know it's gonna be fucking shit.
In a way, this is good,
however,
though, right?
it's gonna rock.
In a way, this is ultimately a positive, though, right? Because people are just going to invest themselves in things that matter now. Like you actually do want all these wastes of time. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm a gamer. I have fond memories of gaming. I still play some games, but like it's just better that it's better that the movies are bad. It's better that the comic books are bad. It's actually better that the video games are bad, because that means that the only place people can retreat to are classic works of real cultural value and doing things in their community. Like these are actually ultimately, while it is sad to watch these parts of civilization crumble under the weight of the wokeness that most certainly did not ever go away, it is nice to see that, ultimately it just kind of leaves people the only answer of like, well, I guess you have to get serious and do important things.
The real victory of Gamergate was that they broke the bread and circuses.
Exactly right.
Definitely something to be said for that.
Yeah, there was a really good article that came out. I mean, there's so many good articles about Gamergate, but there was one that came out that specifically said, you guys screwed up with Gamergate because what you did is you took away the thing that was pacifying white men, which is why, you pushed it in the first place. Oops.
If you remember the action movie from the early 2000s, Equilibrium, where they had kind of a Brave New World-esque society that's regulated by drugs.
The scene with the dogs. I can't watch that.
Yeah. But the way they brought down the tyrannical society was they blew up the drug factories, and to some extent, that's what we're seeing now. The drug factories are being destroyed not by the resistance, but by the incompetence of the overseers. And when you cut off the drug supply, be it in the form of soma or be it in the form of video games, that has implications.
Yeah.
Actually,
Go ahead.
sorry. No, I was going to say that there is actually a larger, a more interesting angle to this, is that the audience for video games it still exists, but it's shifting away from white men to other demographics of males, which I don't want to make too big of a point out of, but let the listener understand.
I mean, this has definitely been pointed out recently with a lot of like the usual like number one titles for the year. I think we were actually talking about this with Melon on D Spaces a couple of nights ago, or maybe it was somebody else, I don't remember. But the fact that like you have like Call of Duty just doesn't even make sense anymore. We have people running around to like Kim Kardashian skins or whatever, like shooting each other and stuff like this. Who is this for? And it's just obviously for the entire third world that's not been put on the internet, So they're not. The video game space is no longer the dominion of just nerdy white guys in the Western world. All right, moving on these super chats to Fritz Imperial, friend of the show, for $2 says, "Merry Christmas, lads. Remember, we win in the end." That is very true. Bindle for $20 says, "I was on the plane to visit family and a troon was boarding in front of me. I'm sorry, sir. Imagine the smell." He sat next to me. He sat next to an Asian woman in an army uniform. She was somehow both more feminine and more masculine than him. Anyway, Merry Christmas, OGC, or Merry OGC Christmas. Well, thank you very much, Bindle. Omens again for $5. Not to be a doomer, but frankly, I expect the Dems to use the bad Trump years as a pretense for pumping up their blood communism from 2028 onwards. Salute. Probably a tactic that they will employ. Yes. Wouldn't be
Fact check true. I mean, this is the obvious play call, isn't it? Is you get the center right to go to Ted Cruz, and then you hamstring Trump in the midterms, and then use the last 2 years of his presidency to investigate and try to impeach him again for what is it now, the third time, fourth time? I can't remember anymore. But and then you use that as a black mark against Vance. So, and then you do color revolution to prevent him from actually getting into office. So, yeah, that's their tactic. That's the obvious play call that's slow motion and happening right now.
Indeed. Moving on to Ruthless Sound Studios for $10. Merry Christmas. Up next, White Boy Summer, Ride the Lightning. Here. And if you guys want to get ripped for White Boy Summer, which will inevitably return once again, head on over to Axios Remote Fitness and Coaching, link in the description. Xcomer for $15 says, "Looking forward to the Vivek Christmas crash out." Well, it's already here. It's this new tradition. So
the most wonderful time of the year.
Yeah, apparently. It's just like another topic we were discussing earlier in the stream about how like they just can't help themselves. It's honestly just wild, the narcissism that exists in the Indian demographic, where it's like, okay, dude, you had this major crash out last year on Christmas that people were ragging you for the entire year. And it's not just that, but in the last couple of months, your active opponent for governor, Amy Acton, was actually using the same exact tweets from last year's Christmas crash out to attack you, your gubernatorial opponent, and now you decide, oh no, guys, I'm just going to double down around Christmas time. It's really going to work this time. What a fucking idiot, man.
May God bless us with stupid enemies.
Yeah, exactly. I definitely look forward to him losing his election next year. That'll be something that we can all rejoice at. Alrighty, that'll definitely be the highlight next year when the OGC covers the midterms on stream. We could just everyone could rejoice when Vivek just gets absolutely bodied. All right, moving on. Got Solid Snake once again sends us $3. He says, "Wait, we're getting paid? Where's my shekels to buy more shiny non-clipped coins?" Yeah, exactly. OGC sponsored by Big Everything. Son of Haster, our good friend up in the new Ivy League, sends us $5 and says, "Merry Christmas to all. I hope every one of you has a very white-pilled Christmas. The super chat can't fit all of my gratitude and pride for you, all my brothers in the OGC, but I know we all feel how big what we're doing is." Yes, very true indeed. And thank you, Son of Haster. You, sir, are a real American. Yiz the Eunuch, good friend of the show, for $2, and everyone should be tuning into Discord and Dragons on Mondays. And once you're done with watching that, head on over to American Spirits on Mondays as well. But Yiz sends us $2 and says, "Have a jolly holly." Well, thank you very much, Yiz. Always a friend of the show. Arameg Discourse for $10 says, "Just got back from a family Christmas party. 4 hours of playing Frogger on the highways with my Jeep CDL drivers. Oh my goodness. God is clearly real. I've been blessed with survival. God bless you all. Merry Christmas." Well, yeah, everyone be careful out there, especially on those icy roads. There's no ice in India, so you gotta be careful. Omens for another $10 says, "Fellas, honest to God question. I'm a Zoomer. I live in a city. How do I go about finding a woman who isn't, modern? No chapter house this week, so I'm missing the Voyager's secret weapon." All right, man. Well, this is where my background in the manosphere is going to come into play. Definitely, I would say is the best thing that you can have is you just need to have status in something, some kind of field, whether it's like your local club of some kind, your local, friend group, your local esoteric right-wing group of, whatever it is. You just need to have status in a certain field, and there's groupies for everything, man. That's how it goes. Then as it relates to quote-unquote modern women, well, it's 2025, man. Every single woman is modern to some degree or another. What you're looking for, though, is you're just looking for a girl who is going to follow your lead in some way or another.
On the subject of groupies for everything, if you had any idea the amount of talent in Thomas's orbit, you would be stunned.
Yes, so I've heard. So I have heard. Yeah. As it relates to like the modern thing, it's just back to like the famous like Sam Hyde quote where he says, "Stop thinking you need to have a woman agree with you politically because the only person who's going to agree with you is a man, and a man with Asperger's." It's like, dude, you don't judge women in the same way that you would judge like male friends or anything like that. Okay. One of the biggest mistakes dudes always make is they take every single word a woman says. It's like, come on, guys, don't take seriously what the gods made for fun. All right. There is some degree that you need to like test for, some like of the major key issues, like getting married, having kids, stuff like that, not big on like aborting a child every 5 seconds, like watching the really big things. But, the chick is just going to follow you, man. If she loves you, she's going to pick up your interests. She's going to pick up your hobbies. She's going to pick up your political opinions. Our guys worry way too much about this, like vetting like a good woman kind of thing. I don't know if anybody else on this panel can provide any words of wisdom.
Well, I mean, you got to get out there and do it, man. Like, you just got to go out, talk to women. Not every interaction that you have with a woman has to be, has to have a purpose behind it. Just you can't find a woman. Like I have some friends who say, like, when I have kids and they're getting up in years and they don't really talk to women, and in my head it's like, how are you going to have kids if you don't talk to women? So like, just have fun with it. Just go have fun with it. Make your own fun, man. Like, you'll find it eventually. Pray, the Lord will give you what you need.
Alternatively, you could just do what I did and go find a Mennonite community and just steal a Mennonite girl. They're excellent cooks, by the way, and
Dude, that
come
is
from
so
Mexico.
based.
Yeah. It
A
works.
Roman enters the Sabine camp.
Nice. So hopefully we provided some wisdom there for you. I think the other thing too, I'll also stress this, especially if you're like a younger guy and you're a Zoomer. There's this like really terrible meme that has weaseled its way into a lot of the way that young guys are educated on the like ways of courtship, where you're expected to be treated like a woman in the sense of you have the same like timeline as a chick does. It's like, no, guys, listen, it has been a staple throughout all of human history. And no matter how much like the feminist indoctrination will tell you otherwise, women like older men. Okay. Like you can, if you aren't like married or like have kids or something in your 20s and you think it's so over, like stop, cut that shit out. Like you'll be fine, dude. Just as long as you're improving every single year and you got your shit together, well, it's entirely possible that you're going to find somebody into your 30s, 40s, even like in your 50s. I mean, look at our friend Semiagog, right? I mean, the guy's in his 50s and found himself a very nice wife. So do not think you have the same timeline as women.
Yeah, I mean, I just had my first kid at 37. So
another example of that is I was at a Kraftwerk concert a couple of years ago, and it was all Gen X guys with Zoomer women.
Oh, Dan Baltic would be proud.
Like, I know this super chat's getting really long in the tooth, but my better half and I went to before the child was born, we went to a dance party. It was a dark 80s synthwave dance party with like, Sisters of Mercy and all that stuff. It was nothing but Gen X men and Zoomer women wearing like 80s like teased out hair with the leg warmers. It was insane. So like you find some niche fandoms and you're gonna get some anachronistic young women there. It was it's good stuff.
Well, I think our man here is definitely act on the super chat game tonight so far. Mo was talking about that. It's like, yeah, the guy who wants the most response out of giving like the least amount of money is the guy who wants to min max. So I think you're the winner thus far. All right, moving on to Omens again. He says Central had 5 kids this year, and you're black billing. Damn right. Nice job to everyone on Central for increasing the fertility rate. Let's see. Omens again for $2. I want to hear Frenchmen pronounce Aaron's name.
Alhan.
Yeah.
To be fair, I have had Frenchmen on the podcast, and no, they can't pronounce the name.
Have they even tried?
Best not to. Yeah.
Best not to.
Next time you're on D Space, you should have the frog give it a try.
Yeah, really.
I will certainly summon her next time.
Skibum220 sends us $50. Thank you very much, sir. They are the big winner for tonight, as always. One of our top super chatters, one of our top guys. He says, "Merry Christmas to all Heritage Americans." Hell yeah. Thank you, sir. Mr. Clockwork sends us $5. It says, "Merry Christmas, gents." Well, Merry Christmas to you, sir. Omens again sends us $2. 2026 is the year of the JD Vance question. Well, I mean, I suppose that'll be every year leading up until 2028, I would imagine. So, all right. Joshua in the Woods for $5. Thank you for increasing my IQ, fellas. Well, thank you for increasing our bank account, sir. Thank you for your $5 and a Merry Christmas to you. Solid Snake 1964 for another $2 says, Oren get some Penelope bourbon. Very smooth. Hey, you got a lot of love for your whiskey stream that you just
I'm
did.
glad people enjoyed that. And yes, I'm actually a big fan of Penelope. I have several of their estate collection releases, which are their limited editions. So they used to be so the original Seagram's distillery was where they were sourcing everything. It's now called MGP. And they were just taking all of that whiskey out of there and finding the best stuff. But now they're owned by MGP. They're like, okay, we're tired of selling you the best stuff and having you make money off of it. We're just going to buy you out. But they do great stuff, even though they're technically not distilling their own stuff. They are excellent selectors and finishers of bourbon.
The 7 and 7 is a very classic drink. I highly recommend anybody try it out.
I do not, but if you hate whiskey, you could do that. Like if you really want to show it like that, you just disrespect it and like to throw, I understand you're right. Yeah, Seagram's, yes, classic to be true, but
I mean,
they're better at
they're
better at gin than they
a
were
little
on
shade a little bit.
Yeah.
Oren, have you ever tried a really peaty scotch?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Scotch fan, and I do, if I'm going to go with Scotch, I do prefer peat. I am more of a bourbon and rye guy in general, but the international whiskeys, or at least I guess I should just really say Scotch. I don't like Japanese or Irish whiskeys very much, but yeah, a good peated Scotch is very good, though it's an acquired taste. I like to call it the Band-Aid flavor. If you're a fan of having Band-Aid in your whiskey, which I know doesn't sound appealing, but I think is an accurate response to heavily peated stuff, then you'll enjoy it. So,
if I may venture a recommendation, try Redbreast 15. It's an Irish peated whiskey.
I have heard. Good. Yes, I have heard Redbreast is very good. I have never tried them, so I'll have to take your word for it. But it does have a very good reputation above other Irish whiskeys.
I always thought two peaty whiskeys tasted like truck brakes on the highway when they're burning. It's like I'm tasting just truck brakes.
Yeah, whenever I have an Islay, that's about what I think.
Yeah, get an Ardbeg, or a Lug Levin, and really blow your taste buds out on peat with that one.
Ardbeg is the one to really blow your peat sensors out on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we got the president of the regulators of the Rio Grande, Mr. Riley, is here with his very unique accent. How are you, sir?
Very good. How are you, sir?
No,
he's gone again. I haven't had him on the chapter house yet, so I'm looking forward to having the regulators on.
Yeah, well, I'm from Georgia, and then I lived in Oklahoma for 11 years, and then I lived in Wisconsin.
Can I not hear him?
New Mexico.
Yeah, I can't hear him either. I see he's talking, but
I can hear him.
I hear him.
Okay, I'll refresh. I'll be right back.
Yeah, weird split. Half the panel can hear him.
Sorry, y'all.
Oh, this is very specifically your fault. How did you do this?
Well, I joined is the problem.
You programmed the stream so that only half the hosts could hear you?
I'm dipping out too. I can't hear him.
So. Shoot. I got hosed. Now I'm getting a message. Oh, I need to refresh. I'll be back. You know what? I'm the one that needs to be back.
All of you are out of order. Everyone refresh.
Aaron has seized control of the OGC.
I have
the only one left.
This is a coup. I am now dictator for life of the OGC chat. Would like to welcome you all to the reign of.
I'm back in.
I'm also back in. I mean, we are not a democracy.
What the hell happened there? Someone was trying to coup us.
I have seized control. You are now below me in the order of rank. Whatever that.
They attack the throat.
Yeah, apparently. Alrighty. Wow, that was bizarre. Anyway, so moving on then. Oh, on the last comment on the whiskey discussion and Oron's stream of whiskey. I also agree with Oron's endorsement of going to the Jack Daniel's distillery. I went to it late last year. Really, really cool campus that you can go in, and the tours were great, and also very, very moderately priced. I was actually surprised how cheap the tickets were, and it was like a 3-hour tour plus all the tasting included and stuff. I would totally recommend it if people have the opportunity to go.
So
yeah,
the greatest
one's like
scent,
$30 or $40. It's very efficiently priced.
The greatest scent that you will experience on this mortal plane is the Rick House at Wild Turkey.
Yeah,
the Wild Turkey Rick House is just unbelievable. You walk into it and you're transposed into another entirely other sensory plane of scent pleasure. It's indescribable.
So I really enjoy Wild Turkey, but I do have to say I have an axe to grind. Despite them making some of the most delicious whiskey available, their pricing has gotten absolutely out of control. Like they have some of their base products are fine, but like their limited editions, they're just like maybe it's $400. It's like, come on, guys,
Oh,
like
Jesus.
yeah, it's absolutely brutal. So they're producing some of the
Golly.
most phenomenal bourbon out there, and then locking it behind like these outrageous prices. So like what they do, but wish like the thing I like about Jack Daniels is they make incredible whiskey, and most of the limited editions are like $80. Well, Turkey's like, but what if they were $300 for the same quality? Like,
Alrighty. Moving on. And yes, as real Americans, everybody here should be drinking whiskey and bourbon. Dare I say that is by far the most American hard liquor for sure. So
rye is acceptable, though it is the northern version. So if you want to be a Yankee, you can drink a rye, and I do enjoy a good rye. But
Total Yankee supremacy.
That's again, I respect the rye, though I will say again, Jack Daniels produces the best rye in the game. So even the Southerners do rye better than the Northerners. But like Sagamore, like they're it's Massachusetts, but they're doing good work. Or they're Maryland.
Stop being such a faggot.
Alrighty, moving on. We have our favorite woman in the chat, Mrs. Dawn Browning. Sends us 50 Australian dollars and a super sticker, as she always does. And this time it is a man with sunglasses watching in amazement as fireworks explode all around him. So thank you very much, Mrs. Dawn Browning. We appreciate it. She's the only woman in the chat, but she gives us money. Yeah, so we love her greatly. Thank you. And a Merry Christmas to you, Mrs. Browning. Giz the Eunuch sends us another $2 and says, white well-being is non-negotiable. We will win. Hear, hear. Absolutely correct. Bolero 393 for $20 says, Merry Christmas to all. Your efforts are invaluable to the nation. Oron's extreme Twitter and boomer whispering skills give us all hope, don't we all? Doyle, and here are the tip of the spear into the mainstream for sensible Americans. Yes, I mean, John Doyle is indeed a friend of the OGC, so we wish him luck in all of his future endeavors, of course.
Yes, his new show has been excellent so far. If you have not taken the time to check that out, another excellent addition to the Blaze constellation. Indeed.
Omen sends us another $2. Says right-wing caroling squads. Yeah, definitely. Solid Snake 1964 for $3. You know who should be directing those caroling squads? Should be Ryan Turnipseed. That man has an excellent voice. If people have been to any of our national conferences, you will remember that Turnip many a morning has led people in singing psalms in the halls before breakfast is served. So
yeah, that's always a good time. You know who also has a good singing voice? Mr. Paul Fahrenheit. When he gets a couple of drinks in him, he can start singing, and it's pretty good.
Well, I mean,
he regaled us at the Christmas party. It was quite lovely.
That is true. And the other person who has excellent singing voice on here is none other than Mr. Oberon Quinn. His voice is excellent. Yeah. All right, moving on here to Mr. Solid Snake once again for $3. He says, just want to be sure that you guys see this. The OGC website, yes. When I look it up on DuckDuckGo, it takes me to a corn site, really. The first result still says your name and description, but it takes me to that. Yes, the website is currently down right now for maintenance purposes. So do not be using the website for the moment. Everyone just reach out to the Old Glory Club at gmail.com if you have any inquiries about chapters. But we will get the website back up and running shortly. It is always a pain in the ass to be running a website, but we're hard at work at it. So moving on to Mr. Omens for another $2. Again, nothing ever happens. Yeah, great. Now face the wall. Yes, I like it. Vulpes Persona for $50. Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate that. A Merry Christmas to you. He says, all is calm, all is bright. Yes. What a fantastic song indeed. So Thank you very much. And a Merry Christmas to you. Bolero393 for $2 says Nancy Mace has polished every sword in the Citadel, probably more than once. Zenrat. But you know what? I do have to thank Nancy Mace for one thing. I made a couple $100 quote tweeting her once this year, just off of Twitter for her thirst trapping. So my number one tweet of the year was just saying something as simple as "just show them already." Gets millions of clicks. Unbelievable. Moving on to Zenrath, our good friend who was just on here. He sends us $25. Well, thank you. You know what? That man is a real American. He comes on the stream, joins us for the conversation, and then sends us $25 on top of it.
A real American.
Indeed, a real American. So he says $25, and he says, I would be remiss if I forgot to mention that if you have a brother, friend, or family member that could be alone this Christmas, make an effort to invite them to your home to join you. This is the season in which no one should be obligated to be alone. I cannot echo this enough. Yes, of course, this is Christmas. It's the time of family. It's the time of miracles. It's a time for spreading good cheer wherever you can. All of your family strife and fights that you might be having with loved ones can all be pushed aside for the Christmas season. So yes, be in the spirit of giving. Make somebody's Christmas, reach out to them, call your mom, call your dad, call whoever needs to be called. It is Christmas time. All right. Melon for $5, our good friend of the show, says, Ayo, what's up? It's Tyrone here to talk about Black Ops 7 and shit. Check out the skin, brah. It's got a trick flip skate park on it where you press the inspect gun button, burn 2025 gaming to the ground. Yes, I cannot agree with you enough, Melon. Well done.
Shit. Just real quick, Oren will be happy to know that the new Ivy League consumes New Hampshire rye during their initiation ritual.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, the Florida chapter for our initiation ritual kills wild boars, so take that.
there was a bourbon or two at the last meeting.
Yeah.
we don't have wild boars up there, but as a little hint, the area where the ritual is completed is one where the Great American Wolf, a whole pack of them, was burned, and that's pretty much all I can say about that.
Alrighty. Let's see. You definitely live in a spooky part of the country, my friend. I'll say that much. All right. Tanix Caesar for $5. Merry Christmas, OGC. Get back to answering emails for aspiring members. Hey, man, sometimes you got to work a little bit harder for it and send a couple. You know, the other thing, too, is that I know a lot of people will be sending emails to oldgloryclub@gmail.com. Do not do that. It is the oldgloryclub@gmail.com. So be double checking to make sure you're sending it to the correct email address. That is definitely something that a lot of people make the mistake of doing. Let's see. David on the Bayou for $50. Thank you very much, sir. And thank you very much, guys, for being quite generous this Christmas season. We definitely appreciate it over here. For $50, he says, Merry Christmas, Patriots. Prepping the prime rib while listening. We were just talking about prime rib. Thank you to all of the OGC leadership for leading the way. Well, thank you for all of you guys in the chat. We wouldn't be here without you. Thank you. All right. Skidmark Groiper for $7 Canadian. We got a lead here in the chat.
Not beating the allegation.
Take his coat. Get the rake.
Yeah, exactly. Well, just wait until you guys see what he. Yep, here we go. See, total Groiper victory 2025. Yeah. I'm just gonna move
Canadian
on to
by way of the subcontinent, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Most American Groiper.
Yeah. I'm just gonna move on to the next one here. All right, Pete Budapest for $10. In 2026, regardless of how elections go in our totally real, not fake electoral system, yeah, that's another point. Historical forces are moving in our favor, correct, in an insanely fast rate. Vance is going to be the moderate option come 28. Well, we can only hope. Thank you very much, sir. Afix for $10. Can we have a toast to Pete's 200 YouTube streams and Auron's quality and OGC's growth? Also, join the chess club on the Big Chess site. Even if you suck, I do. Cheers. Love you all, and a Merry Christmas. Cheers. Well, I could totally lift up a glass of bourbon to that, everyone. Cheers to Pete's 2,000 YouTube streams. They releases every single day. Nobody puts out content like Pete Quinones, let me tell you. And cheers to Auron and all of his great work, and of course to our own OGC and to all of you in the chat this Christmas season. Cheers to all of you.
I have to say, as a paid content producer, I do find Pete's work ethic almost exhausting. Just like, how does the man continue to do it? One only knows.
Honestly, I worked for a lot of years to be able to do this full time, and I figure if people are going to send me money, they deserve to hear from me every day. If they're going to keep me unemployed, they deserve to hear from me every day. So
entirely reasonable.
Pretty much it. Yeah.
Cheers to that.
Here. Now our strongest soldier in the chat, Seasider, sends us $10. Mr. D's not here. Let the Space King Warhammer 40K chat continue. Merry Christmas. OGC salute. Oh man, if Charlemagne was here, Mandrill, he'd be laughing up a storm right now. Oh man, it is so.
Mandrill, do you have any predictions you want to offer for Total War Warhammer 40K?
I want it to be good so bad. But
it's gonna be bad. I'm with you. I'm literally looking at my Eldar army in a case right now, thinking sadness, nothing but sadness.
Oh, you're an Eldar player. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Wow.
Oh man, this is like horoscopes for right wingers.
I have Eldar and Sisters of Battle.
Auron, has no one told you that OGC members can only play Dark Angels?
No, that's not true. I played Imperial Guard.
I mean, for those of you in the chat, those of you on the panel who know the joy that can be had tuning into Mr. D's Twitter Spaces, the best part of the entire space is when either the participants and the speakers on the stream are trying to inject conversations that will deliberately anger Mr. D in one way or another, and just listen for his reaction when he has grown tired of the conversation. Yes. So just so everyone is aware, sometimes the guests on the stream are having fun with you in the audience. So it's always a good time. And speaking of Mr. D, I do want to promote his channel a little bit more, because Mr. D needs to get past that YouTube mark for monetization. He got past the subscribers amount like literally the moment he got it, because people were subscribing to him, interestingly enough, when he was the co-host on AA's Unpopular Opinions for all those years. So he needs to get past the watch hours line. And myself and Charlemagne joined him just a week or two ago for an excellent and all-time great, hilarious stream of when we went through various AI images of living rooms and stuff. And it was just absolutely hysterical. People must watch it. You should go to the John D channel. The stream is called Monstrous Journeys into AI Art. Definitely check that out. We had a lot of fun on that one. And give Mr. D your love. He needs quite a bit of it this Christmas season. And of course, a friend of the OGC.
I was there for that one. It was very enjoyable.
Yeah, very, very funny stream, I would say. Pete Budapest for $5 sends us Acton of Ohio Governor 26. No, seriously, what does that smell? Yeah, really. Big Viz for $5. 2026 prediction: Nicki Minaj pro-Trump rap incoming. Con Inc. streamers go wild. Be warned. Entirely possible. Aramaic Discourse for $2. I'm drinking Ardbeg Corey Kraken right now. There you go.
Enjoying that smoke, to be sure.
Nice. I'm glad the people are joining us in the drinking. Sam for $5 says, shout out to Nevada for introducing me to the OGC. Okay, there you go. I don't know if they're referring to Nevada, the guy, our friend Nevada Smith on the stream. They were talking about the state for a second. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, pleasure to do it.
Alrighty. Kimmy P has ad for $5. Merry Christmas, Pete and friends. Well, Merry Christmas to you, sir. Thank you. Romega 77 sends us $100. I need like a Geo soundboard here. Dollars. So $100. Thank you very much. He says, Merry Christmas. You guys are the best. Well, you are the best, sir. It has nothing to do with the fact you just gave us $100. You just are the best. Everyone in the chat is the best. Thank you.
Oh yeah.
You never know what's on the soundboard, man. You really never do. I do love our producer. He does a great job. Everyone should be just give us money just so we can give it to our producer, because the man does an excellent job with everyone's avatars, putting Santa Claus hats on them, the excellent backgrounds, the excellent thumbnails. Give our producer some love, everyone. And Thomas Wayne Riley, look at this, another real American, comes on the stream and sends us money. My goodness, what a man. Sends us $5. Sorry for screwing up the stream, gentlemen. I'm back. Yeah, that's right. As soon as you come on, everyone disconnects. You're the one who's leading this coup, are you? Yeah.
That was my bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah. We're gonna remove you. Gonna send you to the Apaches. Yeah. All right. P Budapest for $10 says 2026 is the year of the female influencer thirst trap aesthetic. I'm a Jesus lover, but I also look like I just came in from working the street is dead. People are craving authenticity. You know what? I dare I say that might be right. Unfortunately, the manosphere is like basically dead at this point. It's been entirely taken over by third worlders. So really sad state of affairs. But I do think that there might be something to that, the authenticity craving, especially on the female side.
Well, I mean, after mentioning that aesthetic right there, I'm surprised Sandbatch isn't trying to join the.
Yeah.
Put out the bat signal.
Oh no. And you know what? If I am to give two shout outs to two friends who are female content creators of the old Manosphere days, two people I will definitely recommend is my friend Allie Drummond of Real Femme Sapien. She puts out fantastic work for all of you ladies out there. Definitely a good friend of the show. And then, of course, the top woman on the internet everyone knows is my good friend Kenzie Puff. People also know her as Mac, who is currently on a Twitter hiatus, but definitely does great work as well. So two women in the scene who definitely are worth a follow, I would say. Let's see. Moving on to Chan the Man for $2. Can I get the elevator pitch for joining the OGC? You should be connecting with other based right-wing men in your area to prepare for the times to come, and all political action ever in the history of the world has been done by small groups of men. There you go.
Hear, hear.
Gentlemen, I must bail out, but thank you very much for having me. It's been a pleasure, and Merry Christmas to all.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Yes. He leaves just as we're on the very last super chat. So, Day of the Pillow Man. What a nice name. I always dig when people have creative names in the chat. That's cool. For $10 says, Merry Christmas, guys. Well, a Merry Christmas to you, sir. So, all right, gentlemen. Does anyone have anything else to say about 2025, 2026, and beyond before we wrap up and before I drink any more of this bourbon?
Oh, are we wrapping up? I thought we were just going to go till tomorrow. Yeah, no.
I'm not signing up for that.
No, we're doing that New Year's Eve.
Yes.
Oh, yes, of course.
So, I mean, let me give someone a shout out. After we watched, how some people pretend to be on the right and then they crash out like Watson Watch did this year. That was a friendly watch company. I actually bought one of their watches. Impeccable quality. you will not be disappointed. So I just wanted to throw, one person crashed out, another person stepped up. Amazing.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Winners and losers in the right wing product space. Winners, Dissident Soaps. Winners, Friendly Watch Company. Fox and Sons Coffee. We've got a couple of guys doing the captured market thing, and they're pretty good at it.
And a lot of authors are making really good books for us too right now on our side.
Yeah, John Slaughter's did
of
John
course,
Slaughter's
John Slaughter.
book, most recent one, The Crimson Veil, come out this year?
It did. Well, I say that with surety, but I'm pretty sure it did. I read it this year, so. But we got Andy Edwards too of Crowbar and King of Dogs, which Pete had on and I had on and Jay Burden had on and Thomas has had on. I mean, we're making good literature and good art, and I think the future of the arts right now is going to be in our hands, and it's going to be much better than whatever the heck they were producing and making and putting in on display in cities and on buildings and publishing. I think we are doing a much better job, and it will become ascendant.
Let us hope. All right, fellas, if there is nothing further to say, I say we should sign off. Everyone continue to join the OGC into 2026 and beyond. It's been our pleasure to put out some excellent content for all of our lovely listeners in the audience. Thank you all for the great super chats. I hope everybody has a very, very, very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings to all. And we will see all of you perhaps for a New Year stream next week. Maybe if people want to have American Spirits on Monday, they can have the option to do that. But at the very least, maybe we'll have a little bit more for you. But if not, we'll see you in the new year. Everyone have a Merry Christmas and a good night to you.
Merry Christmas, all.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
When I pass on my good genes to my sons, they're going to join the old glory.